What's up, Wes? How you doing, fam?
Man, I'm good. How you doing today?
Good, man. It's good to see you, or good to hear from you, man. I know it's been a few days. We had some technical difficulties the other day, but hey, we're right back at it and we're going strong. We're just going to talk about a few things today. The Miles Garrett thing blew up yesterday pretty big, and it seems to be pretty quiet about it today. Not a lot of people talking about it, but it's still an intriguing subject, but some people are like, hey, we've moved on. We've got Rashawn Gary now, and we've got a plan. We don't need to waste our draft picks. We're going to draft now. We've already spent all this time and energy going to all these visits at Texas Tech and Miami. And man, I'm looking at it like, Texas Tech versus Miami. Who's got the better players? But man, there's some good players on both squads. So it is an exciting defensive draft, but there's only like really six players: Bailey, Bain, Downs, Styles, Reese, and then Delaney or McCoy. If you count McCoy, that's seven. But what do you think, West Coast? What do you like? Would you rather get Max, which you could probably get cheaper than Miles, or would you rather just go ahead and draft at this point?
I think I would want to. I would want to get Miles over everything. Miles is generational. He's our Charles. He's our generation's Charles Haley. So I would always want to go hit him. Um, it's a crazy story.
Absolutely.
I think. Even with the draft pick, you can get the two guys you want at 12 and 20, and it's still somewhat of a gamble to know if they're going to turn out to be what you want them to be. If you were to go get Miles Garrett, I think it's obviously you probably wouldn't be drafted in this year's draft because it's going to take all your first and your second go get him. But I think you're going to get Garrett. You would get exactly what you would want out of getting drafting any other defensive player in this draft. Only negative is you still wouldn't have a middle linebacker, but shoot, maybe he plays so well that you probably might not need one. But I know this Vic Fangio defense or hybrid form of it is gonna need a guy who can guarantee get some pressures on the quarterback. And right now, it don't really seem like we have that. Rashawn Gary, I don't think I think he's gonna be a serviceable guy, even if he gives us the most that he gave the Packers. We basically have a Dante Fowler type of guy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even at his best right now, I don't think it's going to be on the level of what we lost or what we're trying to replace him with. So, if you have an opportunity, man, if you have an opportunity to go get him, why not, man? Like, people was trying to sell me on Trey Henderson. He's 31 years old. People try to sell you on Max Crosby, and his leg is hanging off the bone. You know what I'm saying? Miles Garrett ain't missed a game in probably 4 years, and he's averaging goddamn 17 sacks a season right now. If that's what you're looking for. Go get. That's what you're looking for. Go get it.
Absolutely,
Like, go get it.
absolutely. I agree, man. I'm taking the Miles Garrett thing first, and then I'm going for the draft second would be my number two, and then my third option would be Max Crosby, just because of the knee. I don't know. I have too many question marks. Let me see him play. Like maybe we can get him before the trade deadline, and if Max Crosby's playing well for the Raiders, I'll take him on my team. But there's a lot of question marks there for me still with Max. But yeah, Miles is like you said, he's a walking gold jacket, and I'm sure everybody would like to have him on the team, but we've done so much, we've made all these trips to Miami and Texas Tech and Texas, and Shotty's done a lot of traveling, man, to go look at some of these players, and it looks like the Cowboys have moved on. And so it's been kind of quiet today about Miles Garrett, but who knows, man? Um, if Cleveland calls Dallas, I'm sure Jerry will have a tough decision to make. It'll probably come down to a vote. Are we getting Miles, or are we going to trade three draft picks? And
I don't even know if it might even take three. For them, obviously they're gonna ask for three. That's what they're saying right now because they were already saying that he wasn't even available for trade. So I think anything, you wouldn't want to get Miles today. You would want to wait all the way up to the draft. All the way up to the draft, who's going to turn down 2 first-round draft picks versus one? I mean, versus three, especially when the third one you can't even get to the next year. I don't even think there's only certain teams that would even be willing to even do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it would have to be a team that feels that they're just 1 or 2 players away from making a legitimate Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Or a legitimate Super Bowl run, or at least, yeah, it has to be Super Bowl run. So it's like that. Even it is all the 32 teams don't even have the resources to bring Myles Garrett to their team. So that's why I don't necessarily believe it's going to be obvious. I do believe it's going to be 2 first-round picks, but I don't think it'll be 3.
Yeah.
I don't believe it'll be 3, but I definitely believe it'll be 2. And I think it would be hard for them to turn down a team with 2 first-round draft picks in this year's draft right now.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be hard because the closer to the draft it gets, the more valuable those picks get and the more leverage that Jerry Jones is going to have, and they're saying, "Oh no, we're not going to trade Miles," but why are you moving money around? Why are you trying to make a law or a new rule saying we can pay it off in 5 years, And it's going to be interesting when it gets closer to the draft. Do I think Myles Garrett's going to be traded? I don't know. I'm like 50-50, but Jerry Jones said no, we're not trading Micah Parsons. They said no, we're not trading Max Crosby, and they did. That's because they want to keep that leverage. If they're like, yeah, we're going to trade him, then they lose part of that leverage. So they got to play the role for a little while, and then we'll just see how this unfolds. But yeah, um, I'm like, I'll trade all these
Someone
picks. I'll take
offered them 2 first-round picks
for Miles
in this year.
and the third
If
rounder for
someone
the
offered them
linebacker
two,
Brooks.
if someone offered them 2 first-round picks with what the Cleveland Browns are trying to do, it would almost be unethical for them not to take it. Like
Yeah,
like this, it would be like Miles Garrett in the long run don't do nothing for them. Because I mean, you got to think they
no,
had him on
he
their team
stops
last
at
year.
all.
He had 20. Yeah, he doesn't do nothing for them.
If
So
you
it's
really
like
love him, let him go. And if he comes
facts,
back, he's yours. If not, he's ours. You know what I'm saying? Like you really don't need him.
and it doesn't help their over. It is he's not helping their overall. So
Yeah,
you know what I'm
they're
saying?
trying to
So it's like
they're them doing that 5 year thing lets me know that they think in their mind they're 5 years away from winning a Super Bowl. You know, so it's either that or they're trying to get this big bidding war going on for Myles Garrett, where teams can say, "Oh yeah, I'll do it five number ones or 3 number 1s and a number 2 in 2030," you know, and it'll be like the biggest king's ransom ever. But I don't think that's going to happen. Teams are smart and they're not going to throw more than 3 draft picks, 3 1s at least.
then a lot of teams don't even have that. There ain't a lot of teams. I don't even think. I think the Cowboys. There's only the Cowboys and one other team that even has 2 first-round picks in this year's draft. Miami's gonna have a. I think it's Miami's that's gonna have a lot of picks, or maybe it is Cleveland that's gonna have a lot of picks. Like one of them seems gonna have a lot of picks next year. So if you can get 2 first-round picks this year for them, I think it makes sense. I think it
Yeah,
makes sense.
we do have the most capital because we learned that during the Max thing. We were the second runner up to the Ravens. Somebody said something crazy earlier, like the Ravens might try to go get them too, because they still have those draft picks. They didn't trade them because they picked up Hendrickson. So, and then the Eagles, obviously, they could trade, uh, some of their players, either AJ Brown or Carter.
Don't nobody want AJ Brown.
So I'm sure they'll ask if we can trade Pickens straight up for him or for Pickens and 1 first rounder, but Dallas doesn't want to trade Pickens. So
They wouldn't. They wouldn't. They wouldn't trade a receiver.
yeah,
You got to get. I mean, they got to solidify who's going to be their quarterback first. I know they. I know Shador is a good story, but I don't think. I don't believe that Shador. I don't believe they believe in Shador Sanders.
yeah, they're
You know what I'm
gonna
saying? They
try
still
Mac for
got
one
Dylan
more year.
Gabriel. They still got Dylan Gabriel in front of them. They still have. They even still got Deshaun Watson on the roster.
They're talking about Deshaun Watson might start this year. I was
That's
listening
crazy.
to a Cleveland podcast, but they would love to get our picks. I know they would. And like I was saying the other day, that maybe Dallas did call them and said, "Hey, we'll trade you 12 and 20 for 6 and 39. That way we can go up and get an edge rusher like Bailey or Bain, but or even Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles, one of the top 6, that we were talking about earlier, which is Bailey, Bain, Downs, Styles, um, Reese, and Delane or McCoy. I don't know. We have to wait till McCoy does his pro day on the 31st, but for now, those are your top 6. So if they're gone, are you taking an offensive player at number um, 12? If,
Um,
Jeremiah Love or Tate, the receiver from Ohio State, or, those good linemen that they have. I think it's Spencer Fano and Fanugo or Magua or something.
I mean, I like Jeremiah Love. I just don't like the thought of him sharing carries his rookie year. Like if I draft Jeremiah and Love at 12, I want to win offensive rookie of the year. And the only way he's going to do that is by him toting that ball himself. Um, so that's the only I wouldn't want to rob him of his rookie year. So the Cowboys go get Jeremiah Love. They need to definitely tell me what they're going to do with Williams, because I don't want Will. I wouldn't want them on the same. I mean, if it wasn't his rookie year, I wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? But his
Right.
rookie year, no, I want to put him in a position to win offensive rookie of the year. You know what I'm saying?
Like Zeke.
Especially I'm going
Yeah.
12.
Like Zeke did. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. He did split carries at Notre Dame with the other guy, and he's probably going to go in the draft, probably in the 7th
Yeah, but see,
round.
this the difference
But
for that is they were splitting carries on somebody else's dime. Now we about to pay him to split carries. I'm not doing that. That makes no that don't
well, that it works
he
well in
couldn't do
Detroit
it.
though, with
Huh?
Montgomery, and it did with Montgomery and the other guy in Detroit, and Gibbs,
Yeah, but we're
Montgomery and
not the
Gibbs.
Detroit. Yeah, but didn't your mama tell you just because it work at somebody else's house don't mean it's gonna work at ours? That ain't our
To,
house.
hey,
We
Tony
not the
Pollard
Detroit
and
Lions.
Zeke, they were remember Tony Pollard and Zeke? They were like the 1-2 punch. You got Zeke come in, and then Tony Pollard come in and bust a big play. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
but
mean, it'd be
that was
it'd be nice to
that
have him.
was
But I see what you're saying.
yeah, and that wasn't Zeke's rookie year either. Nor was that Tony Pollard's rookie year.
Right. That's a tough decision to be in. So
And
would
I'm
you
gonna tell
take
you
Tate?
something. And I'll tell you something that people were failed to remember too. Tony Pollard was a wide receiver coming into the NFL. So I understand why he had to share carries. He wasn't no real running back. Tony Pollard
So
had
he
more
was a
receiving
scat
yards.
back. He
Yeah,
was more of a
he had
scat
more
back.
receiving
Yeah,
college he had more receiving yards in college than he had
running yards
actual yards.
at Memphis.
Yeah, the Cowboys turned him into a running back. But not no. And then you're gonna put those assets involved. You go draft a running back at 12 overall. He needs to run the ball.
No doubt, no doubt. That would change a lot of things, but for me, it would be a luxury. If one goes down, you got the other one, and then kind of like the Chargers last year, they had a slew of running backs, and it ended up working out for them with Vadell. He kind of saved their season, but they had Omarion Hampton, Vadell, and they had that running back from Pittsburgh.
But that was because of Marion Hampton got hurt.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they already had the guy from Pittsburgh when they drafted Omarion, though. What was his name? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But anyways, he was a pretty good running back for Pittsburgh for a few years. And
Najee Harris.
anyhow, Najee Harris, yeah, they had Najee, but Najee got hurt. Kind of like with us last year, we had the other Miles Sanders. So and he got hurt. I always wonder how well his season would have went if his season would have folded out. But he had a pretty big run, but then he fumbled it against the Eagles in the opening night, and then after that, he just got hurt. So anyhow, we do need a linebacker, guys, and so these are your top linebacker prospects according to Dan Brogler. Um, since we don't have a linebacker right now, so they just took Jacob Rodriguez out to dinner, and Anthony Hill Jr. They were real big with him, and then of course Sonny Styles would be a dream. And then C.J. Allen, Jake Golladay, Arver. This is a deep linebacker um, class. Even Josiah Trotter, Jeremiah Trotter's, I guess, son. But in my
What
opinion,
college you
I
go
like
to?
these are my top three right here. What do you think?
Well, tell me why you like each one.
I like Anthony Hill because he's the most athletic. Um, I would say he can go sideline to sideline. He doesn't miss tackles and he can cover. So he's your most complete athletic linebacker out of those three. And then I like Jacob because he has a lot of heart and he has a knack to punch the ball out. And um, he just plays with tremendous heart and effort on every single play. And then I would say with CJ Allen is very smart. He knows how to run that 3-4 scheme already, so he could come in because Dallas is running a very similar scheme, and he was the red dot for Georgia and pretty much ran their defense. He was the general on the field for the Georgia Bulldogs. So they all three have some good traits, man. So I would take either one of those three and be happy with it at number 20.
I'm assuming Sonny Styles is not on there because you just don't think he's gonna be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is number 20. This is like my second option of picks. And the only way we're getting Sonny is if we trade up or Arvell Reese or David Bailey. Like I don't know who's going to be there if we were to trade up with Cleveland or the Cardinals, but it's going to take a lot of capital to do that. But that's assuming that we don't go get a linebacker, a veteran. Then this kind of changes. You could just kind of pick whoever you need. But I know we need an edge unless we go get Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, but we don't know right now. So it's just very interesting. This is kind of like a soap opera almost. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to. I
Hmm.
guess we'll know by draft day. It's only 3 weeks. What less than a month away.
Yeah, I like all three of those guys. I mean, I would still, no matter who I draft, I would still want an OJC. I also like a big guy kid. I like him too. Um,
The Jake Garrett.
and
Yeah.
Jake Rodriguez, he definitely looks out of all the guys, he looks like he's the most guy ready. You know what I'm saying? But how old is he also? He's like 26. He gonna be 26 when the league start.
Yeah. And I think they have these in order too. Of Arvell Reese is the number one, which he plays more of an outside role. So if we did get Arvell Reese, we really wouldn't need to go get a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett, even
So, man,
though
you can always
we
get a
could.
Miles Garrett. What are you talking about?
I
I would
mean, we
always want
could,
him.
but we're not going to have that pick anymore if we do get him. So,
I mean, if you're
um,
if you're if you are at this point of the draft, if you ain't got pick 12, you ain't getting Miles Garrett anyway. Because this for sure gonna take pick 12.
oh yeah, yep, 12, and I don't think they want 20. I think they want to stretch it out because next year's draft they like the quarterback class. With all the quarterbacks that are coming out with the Mannings and the
No, they got a
guy
lot of
from
picks in
Oregon.
next year's draft, if I'm not mistaken. They have a lot of
Yeah.
picks in next year.
So, and
But
if they
yeah,
trade
I
Myles
like
Garrett, they'll
obviously
have a lot more.
I would say Jacob Rodriguez, Sonny Styles, and then Jake Galladay, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, Texas linebackers, they scare me.
Oh, okay. I got you.
They scare Texas players scare me. I ain't gonna lie. The linebackers for sure. Like
For what
we have
Longhorn?
not had good luck with Longhorns, bro.
Yeah, we hardly ever draft him, but when we do, the only one that was ever good was that. No, he went to OU. I was thinking of Roy Williams, the
I
safety.
knew you was about to say Roy.
Yeah,
He
but
went to OU.
uh, yep, yep, he went to OU. So yeah, Overshown, man, he looked good today though. I saw a little post where he was jumping up and down on the boxes, with no brace on or anything, and so
I don't want to hear
hopefully he
that. I don't want to hear it.
hopefully he plays good this year.
19 games in 3 years. I'm sorry, I don't care about that. Just show me some video ball in the Canadian League in the off season, hitting some people and tackling.
Right, right.
No, I don't believe it. I'm sorry.
Well, folks, it's gonna get interesting. Um, let's talk a little bit about. Let's see. We already talked about drafting the best player. Oh, did you see any of the pro days? Like any players stand out to you from any of the pro days or anything? Did you get a chance to watch any tape yet?
I haven't been able to watch any film on the pro days, but the 30-30 visits, all these wide receivers the Cowboys are interested in. Wow, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, because George Pickens might not be here next year, is what some people are saying. That he might play this year on the tag, but then like if they do draft, at number 12, which is very likely that one of those top three receivers are going to be on the board. So if they draft one of them, we're going to have an awesome receiving core this year, that's for sure. Um, but if they do, that means next year they might let go of your boy unless they extend him. I don't know though. I just hope they do sign him because he is a generational talent. So they don't
I
just grow on
mean,
trees.
no, and quarterbacks that can turn wide receivers that teams gave up on into top receivers in the league. Those don't grow on trees either.
Nope.
Yeah, I think. I mean, one would like to think how much of Pickens' success has to do with Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying, but at 12, if you don't have what you want out there, get a goddamn tackle.
Yeah, I
Can't
mean
go wrong with a tackle.
if that top tackle's on the board, you could trade. They were talking about today. You could trade. What's his name? Terrence Steele, and probably get a late day three pick or something. For Terrence Steele and get his money off the board. They've been trying to trade him for 2 years, but they can't. And they can't replace him either. Just like they don't grow on trees, tackles don't grow on trees either. They're hard to find good tackles. And the only way I see him drafting a tackle is if like let's say Jordan Tyson's gone and Tate is gone, Jeremiah Love's gone, and then your top six defense draft is. I'm either waiting for the phone to ring so I can trade back, or I'm stuck to drafting a tackle. Because I'm not gonna pick a round two pick for over a day one pick. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna get the best player available. So
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, I feel more secure with the Cowboys drafted offensive linemen just because the offensive linemen that the last three that we drafted, man, they're all pro or pro bowlers.
yeah, and Dak had a lot of trouble last year, man. If you go back and watch the tape from last year, Dak was getting hit a lot, man. There was a couple plays, man. I was like, man, I saw. I don't know if it was Steele or Guyton, but they were having trouble, a lot of trouble in that game, and I think it was against Minnesota, and they didn't know what to do, man. And Dak was getting hit left and right. So if we're talking about a Dak window, we need to make sure he's protected. Because if something else happens, God forbid, man, our season's over. So,
Yeah, unless you don't believe in Sam Howell.
and if somebody gets hurt, we got rid of Brock Hoffman, so all we have now is TJ Bass, and then so
And they
we'll see.
love TJ Bass enough to keep him on the team and never play him.
Yeah, but we did go get a center. I heard like a backup center since we got rid of Hoffman because he was our backup center, and supposedly he was a really good center. So that's a good thing.
Didn't Hoffman sign with somebody though?
Yeah, he signed with Pittsburgh with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I about to say, shoot,
Yep.
we lost him to free agency.
Yeah, that's not good, man. Because if someone goes down, he was a key piece. Now you might have, if a tackle gets hurt, Smith is going to have to slide out, and T.J. Bass will come in and play guard. And
Yeah, I
we still
mean,
got that guy from last year that we had that was a pretty good serviceable tackle. Can't think of his name, but he did all right.
I know everybody would be pissed because the draft will be boring. But yeah, if the Cowboys did take a right tackle, I mean, that makes
Victor
sense.
Fano, man, and then the other guy, he's not no slouch. That Wagua guy, he's supposed to go
Mm.
in the top 10. So,
Where is he out of?
Magua, I think it's Miami.
Yeah, University of Miami guys. They got. I know that pro. They're gonna be lit because they got a bunch of kids coming in.
Oh, they already had it. They had
Yeah, I
it
know.
the other day.
Yeah, I know it was lit
They,
then
oh yeah, Magua.
because they got they got a bunch of us that are coming into the league right now. But I mean, 12 and 20, man. It's like either way, man. You should be able to get a good player, man. It's about getting a. You looking for a player that's going to be able to help you over the next 5 years, or you looking for a player that can help you right now. You know
Francis
what I'm saying?
Magua, 6'6", 315 pounds, All American. 6'6". Yeah, but they're saying that yeah he'll be good, but not year one. He might. Terrence Steele might be better than him year one, but year two, I mean, but there's a lot of upside to that. So yeah, he played for the Miami Hurricanes, and they were a very good team. So yep. So that would
I
definitely
mean,
solidify the brick wall. If Guyton
yeah, I
can get
mean,
his crap together.
yeah, and also to make sure I wonder how long because Dak has 3 years left on his deal. If you go this offensive line is basically going to be together for the next 5 years, 4 years almost. So it's like you might even be able to, depending on how the Cowboys feel about Dak, you could extend his career. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's
Yeah,
not a lot of people wouldn't want to hear it right now because they don't think that they don't understand how that would be able to, how bringing in another good tackle would be able to affect, the overall success of the team. But, you know, I even threw a weird thing out there. I said, man, how would y'all feel if the Cowboys drafted a quarterback at 20? Everybody got mad at me because they thought I was a Dak hater. Now I said, man, I don't hate Dak, but I just feel like one, I don't think the Cowboys want to do another deal with Todd Francis, who is Dak Prescott's agent. Two, Dak Prescott, outside of last year, has missed at least 1 to 2 games every year. So it's worth having a notable backup quarterback. Three,
yeah,
um, they saying Dak Prescott has a window now. Window means whenever people talk about window, that means you're not getting re-signed. You know what I'm saying? Window means it's about to be here and now, and if it ain't here and now, it's gonna be over. It's gonna be somebody else's chance. You know what I'm saying? So, and whenever they talking about window, what they're also talking about is they low key giving up on you. I'm just being real with you. Like those, when you start hearing terms like that, it means like when Green Bay Packers started talking about the Aaron Rodgers window was open and closed. What happened to Aaron Rodgers is they got his ass up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So when people are talking about window, they usually are talking about it in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? So, and
yeah.
when I
Hey,
start hearing them say window, it also lets me know that this organization knows exactly when Dak Prescott's last game is going to be. I just hope he knows. You know what I'm saying? Because the Cowboys are they're already making in their mind mentally preparing themselves to move on. So if you're
well,
going to be doing that, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you should need to look at his replacement.
yeah, I wouldn't do it this year though,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
next year has way better quarterbacks coming out. Or way there's a lot
But
more.
we don't
This
have
year's
two
draft.
first round picks. But we don't have two first round picks in next year's draft.
Yeah, we only have one, but still, we do need to start looking for a quarterback. Just like with any quarterback, they got to pass it down to somebody. Look at Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. He had to pass the torch eventually. But I think Dak's got a good another 5 years left in him if he can stay protected. And so I honestly I wouldn't be mad if they pick uh the Magua guy, because that ensures Dak. There was a lot of games last year where if Javonte Williams wasn't a block, Dak would have got hit hard, man. So shout out to Javonte Williams, man, for holding it down and blocking, picking up those blitzers because
Somebody said,
um,
why trade Parsons if you're going to get the pick back and maybe more for basically the same production? Now, Miles Garrett and Micah Parsons, that's two word elements, two different people, man.
yeah,
Them is
Micah didn't
two.
get to play with Quentin and Kenny. If Micah got to play with Quentin and Kenny, that would have been a doomsday defense.
He,
Miles Garrett
well,
with
he played
Quentin and
with him
Kenny.
some.
God, what are you talking
But
about?
I mean, I would want to see Micah. I would rather see Miles Garrett with that same difference. Because I mean, if you see Miles Garrett got 23 sacks with a bunch of guys on the defensive line that you don't know, imagine him what he could do with you know what I mean. And people say he's old. Yeah, he is old, but I'll tell you this: him playing with Quentin and Kenny, that's going to definitely prolong his career.
Oh
And
yeah,
I see Kenny Clark every Tuesday and Thursday when my son go to practice. And man, that dude is built like a goddamn horse, man. It's ridiculous how big he is.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm talking if Dallas gets them, they're gonna have a defensive line like the Eagles had when they had Sweat and Carter and everybody. It was unstoppable. You couldn't block them all, and that's the reason why they beat uh, the Chiefs in
Man,
the
if
Super
you go
Bowl.
get Miles Garrett, you're looking at probably the best defenses the Dallas Cowboys have ever had.
Assembled
You know what I'm saying? Assembled.
with minus Deion Sanders.
Yeah, like I don't. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's like
people
going and
say you
getting
have too
Charles
many holes
Haley
to be
again.
filled. Yeah, I
No,
mean,
we're
if you
two
get
pieces away now. If we get Miles Garrett and that linebacker from Miami, dude, our defense is stellar
or at least
for the next
you
2 years.
at least on paper they look like they should be good. We still got to go out there and
Definitely.
play. But I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure. It looks like a Pro Bowl defense to me.
everybody
I
keeps
mean,
brought in dudes for defense. They brought in four DBs.
yeah. I mean, there's too many holes to be filled. What have you been watching, bro?
I'm
I've
watching,
seen
bro.
about 6 new starters that Dallas has
There's a
got.
Dallas was that.
I mean, we got 6 new starters on our defense, and if we get Miles Garrett, that'll be 7, and then the other guy will be 8, basically 8 new starters once we get our linebacker.
Yeah, I know that's what people keep on telling me we need defense. We need defense. I'm like, bro, we brought in like 8 different dudes right now. They all play on defense.
Like, what are you watching, bro? Like, what do you mean? You're like a month ago. A
And
month
then
ago,
on
that was
top
the
of that,
case.
four of them was DBs.
Exactly. And all the DBs we got are better than
So you brought
anyone.
in
I know that.
you brought in two safeties and two corners.
Yeah, and that Thompson guy's not to sneeze at, or the lock guy. Those are some feisty guys. And then even the other little corner that they brought in from LA, he's a feisty little, and he's very smart and intelligent. I watched his film. He's real good at reading the quarterback's eyes. And the other guy is too, the Durant guy that had 3 interceptions in the playoffs. That guy is, these guys are, I don't know who's going to start. It's going to be interesting to see who does start. But if you draft a corner, because there's a lot of good corners in this draft, um, who's going to sit? Like, is it going to be Deron Bland sitting on the couch, or is it going to be uh, Chavon Ravel? I hear a lot of people saying Chavon Ravel might sit because he only had one good game where he covered the tight end for the Rams. I mean, for the Raiders. It was his first game. He had to cover him, which that's not an easy task to cover the Raiders tight end. And and then after that, he just kind of disappeared for the rest of the season and got burnt a lot, you know. And he was always
Yeah.
adjusting his brace, and I'm like, man, this guy's not ready. Why didn't they go get Stephon Diggs for the season? I just didn't get it last year. Why they didn't
Who, the
go? Not I
Cowboys?
mean not, I mean not Stephon Diggs. Why didn't we go get Gilmore last year so that Diggs and and Ravel and all these hurt players can recover. And they didn't do it. They didn't. I guess they thought he was too old or whatever, but at least he could have came in and filled the role until those guys recovered, and then they put him out too early. But I'm just gonna blame all this on Eberflus, man, because of the way our safety played hooker and the way just the whole season went. It had to be Eberflus's fault, you know.
I mean, I don't necessarily think it was his fault. I think it was everything you just said. Like everything you just said, you gave a bunch of reasons on why your defense wasn't good, and then on top of that, you had a defensive coordinator who was promised one team, and y'all gave him a whole different team.
Yeah,
The
with a
team that
bunch
he
of hurt
signed up to
corners.
coach, the team he signed up to coach had a healthy Micah Parsons on it, had a healthy Diggs on it, had a healthy Demarcus Lawrence still on it, had a healthy Deron Bland. By the time the season started, Micah was in Green Bay. Diggs was damn near off the team. Bland was injured. You know what I'm saying? And D Law was in Seattle, telling everybody that he was not going to win a Super Bowl in Dallas. So they what they say, it just kind of went left real fast.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was a combination of everything, but I think the coaching was horrible. I mean,
I mean, I believe it's horrible, but it's like, bro, it's like someone tells you, hey, man, I'm gonna pay you X amount of dollars to mow my backyard, to come get in my backyard. He shows you a picture of the backyard, and it's like just like little regular backyard. Then you get there, and this motherfucker got a whole football field, bruh. You're like, wait, where was this at? Like, I didn't sign up for this. You know what I'm saying? And then you'd be like, you already there. You didn't drove 2 hours to the dude's house and you got all your tools there. So you're like, well, damn, I might as well do it. And then you go out there and do it. And then they judge you based on, oh man, you could have did a little bit better, man. Like it took you forever. Be like, yeah, bro, it took me forever because I brought the tools thinking that it was going to be one job and it was a whole different other job.
right,
I don't
right,
think, to be honest with you, I don't really think anybody could have did anything with that defense last year.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, another thing, they brought in that pass rush specialist, BT Jordan from the Broncos. Well, it's where everybody goes, you know. So our defensive line is going to be a lot better this year, and I think Ezaraku in his second year is going to be a lot better. He had a really good run stopping grade. I think like Dallas had like one of the best run stopping. As bad as their defense was, our defensive edge room was number one in stopping the run with Ezaraku and Clowney, and so that's a pretty good stat. But other than that, the rest of the team stunk, you know. And I think a big reason why they could stop the run is because of Quentin and Kenny in the middle, you know. But our secondary was just atrocious. They couldn't tackle, they couldn't cover. And hopefully this year with these feisty new corners, if Deron Bland and Ravel don't shape up, you're going to be hearing Durant taking their place and this other guy they brought in taking their place. Somebody, because
Play regardless because Kobe Durant gonna play on the
yeah,
outside, so have to play. He gonna play on the outside, so he's gonna start. Corday is gonna start regardless. Deron Bland will most move
yeah.
back on the inside. It's just a matter of who's on that outside corner. And then the cool thing about the game is they're all
Savon
signed to
Bell
one
don't
year
play
deals,
inside though.
and then they're all on 1 year
Ravel plays on
deals.
the outside too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean it's a prove it deal, you know.
yeah, they're all on 1 year deals, so
So
all of them could technically not be here next year.
it still doesn't stop me from drafting a corner though. If he's
No,
there,
it
you know.
doesn't. It doesn't.
Yep. So yeah, 5 or 6 of these corners in this draft are better than what we have now. There's a lot of good corners in this draft. So Evion Terrell, Colton Hood, you know, of course Delaney, and if McCoy's knee's okay, he's going to be the best. But and then I'm still drafting safety too. I mean, if Caleb Downs or Thielen's there and we want him, go get him. You know, so
Yeah, I mean, as long as you go get the best player, as long as you got the best player available on the board, then you won't walk away from the draft feeling like you didn't do your best. Even if you have a hole and like you have a hole at a position but it's like the fourth best person's available. You don't draft that kid just because you have the hole. You don't do that because then you're going to put a kid in a position where he's not ready to play. Put first round expectations on a kid that could have been that's probably a third round or second round guy, and then it takes him longer to live up to that, and then you give up on him quicker. So you end up not getting what you want out of it anyway.
Yep. It's just like they drafted CeeDee Lamb over that defensive player in that draft, and CeeDee Lamb's way better, you know. So if Tate is available at number 12, I'm picking him up over an Akeem Messador, or if those six defensive players are gone and Andrew Tate's there, I'm getting him because that adds value to your team. And if for some reason you want to sign Myles Garrett or Max Crosby and we have to get rid of Pickens, we got Tate. You know what I'm saying? It's not as bad as a blow. Even though Pickens is way better probably than Tate is, he can still absorb some of that blow and you
That
don't have to
blow,
pay
and
him
he don't
as
have to
much.
pay him as much. Yeah, I'm curious if the Cowboys have gotten any calls about picking because if he ain't, then they're just gonna pay him.
No, no
I
one's
don't
gonna
think the
pay.
Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys have a problem with giving him $27 million for 1 year. I don't think they have any problem giving that to him. So I think no matter what happens, I think Pickens will still be a Cowboy.
Yeah, he just said he's
It's
gonna
gonna be
play all the
it's gonna
time
be
this year.
curious though because when they have mandatory mini camps, that's when that'll be the first time he'll be able to see if he's gonna hold out or not. Right now, it's not an issue because there's nothing to hold out from. You know what I'm saying? But when training camp actually starts, when they have this little mini camp after everybody gets drafted, then we'll be able to see is he gonna flex his muscle or not. I mean, if he don't flex his muscle and he come to practice and he just be a good person, then it don't really mean nothing. But if you
Right.
do, then that can definitely change what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
Would
there's
you take
buzz on him
Jeremiah?
too from Arizona. Some saying he's better than Tate.
Mm, would you take J Love if he was available at 12? I would
Heck
draft
yeah.
him. I would draft him, and then I would immediately call teams to try to trade Javante Williams.
You're crazy, man.
What?
I wouldn't do that. I disagree with you on that. I like the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, but see, this the thing. For the 1-2 punch, you're only going to get 50% of each man, so you're not even going to get no difference. You're not. It's going to be the same. It's going to use two people to get the same production that I could get as one. That's just double pain.
Yeah,
Because we're not about to
yeah.
get 2,000 yards out of 1,500 yards out of one dude, and then 1,000 yards out of another dude. No, there's not enough football for
Would you give Jeremiah Love 75% of the carries and give Javante 25% to 30% of the
no,
carries?
not for the 3 year, $27 million contract I just gave Javante Williams. No, I would not.
That's a cheap
No,
contract though.
no, it's not. Not from a running back. He almost making nine. Not for the Dallas Cowboys. No,
No,
and
he
at
made
four, and
7 a
the thing
year.
about at 4.8 million at 4.8 yards per carry, there are teams that are interested in Javante Williams.
Oh, for sure. And he's a big reason Dak Prescott didn't get laid on his butt. That's the only reason why I wouldn't trade him because I don't
Yeah, that's the
know if I could
offensive
trust
lineman's
Jeremiah
job.
Love to block.
I would just cuss out my offensive line.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm
Then you
saying?
got to think
I would just cuss out my offensive line.
if you pick up Jeremiah Love at 12 and one of those good offensive linemen are there at 20, then you have the best offensive line and best running back in the league. He could run for 2,000 yards, like you said, you know.
Yeah, and the boy
But
catches very well out the backfield too.
yeah, but we got to draft defense because that's what they say we got to do, I guess. But
I
it's
mean,
gonna get
Jared's
interesting.
for sure going to do what he wants to do in his draft, like he always does. So I wouldn't be surprised if you drafted an offensive player. And if you look at it, the Dallas Cowboys don't like re-signing defensive players. Like we barely re-sign offensive players, but we definitely don't like re-signing off defensive players.
Yeah, a lot of
Like
people are
CeeDee
talking
Lamb,
about Sadiq too, the tight end from Oregon. If he's there at number 20, do you get him?
mm, I mean,
They say he has the
He
potential to
says,
be
Wes,
better
you
than
want to break the offense, just leave it alone. How am I breaking the offense by telling you by saying you guys asked me if Jeremiah Love was there at 12, would I draft him? I said, yeah, I would draft him. I think
oh
Jeremiah Love is a better running back than Javonte Williams.
big
I
time.
do.
He's the third best player in the draft. They said.
Yeah, I believe he's a better player than him. So your offense would actually get better. I just don't want. I'm not paying almost $8 million a year to have a backup running back.
Right. Yep. He reminds me a lot of
Not when I can
DeMarco
trade
Murray.
it. Not when I can trade him and get some value back. You could probably trade Javonte Williams and get a third round pick.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about Jeremiah Love dropping to the Cowboys at 12 unless he's about to get purposely caught up with some weed or something.
Yeah, he's not. He's gonna go in 3
And
or
that might
4.
not even help. And that might not even work.
Yeah, one of those receivers might be there though, like Jordan Tyson or Sadiq, the tight end, might be there. But Jeremiah Love will be gone before 10 for sure. The only way you're getting him is if you trade up to get him, and we're not doing that. So, but it would be nice.
Someone says, I
Well,
think, Wes, do you think Love is a better running back than Zeke? No, I don't think he's a better running prospect than
he
Zeke.
he's more like I said. He's like a DeMarco Murray. He'll still get you 1,700 yards, but he's not Zeke, rookie Zeke. That's hard to
No,
beat.
Zeke could have been the first overall pick, man. If they would have needed if they were looking at running back, he could have been a first overall pick.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it is going to get very interesting. Couple other things I wanted to talk about before I let y'all go. I will be in Dallas for draft day at the Star. I'm not going to go over to Pittsburgh to watch it, but a lot of people are going to be out at the Star in Frisco. So if you're going to be in the area, you still got 3 weeks to plan it, y'all. But if Dallas trades for Max or Miles, I'll probably cancel the trip because it's not going to be. What am I going to do there? Wait for the 5th round, because we're probably going to use our 3rd round pick to go get a linebacker. So we're not going to have a 1st round pick, 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick, but we'll have Miles and we'll have that linebacker from Miami. So our defense will pretty much be set at that point. So there's still the 5th round, but it's going to be an awesome draft if we don't. So I will be there at the draft at the Star. And if West Coast can't make it, man, maybe we'll do a show out there or something. But um, and then I know he'll for sure be at training camp. So we'll also be at training camp. And I heard today that Brandon Aubrey's probably going to get signed soon. So be looking for that. But George Pickens will probably play on the tag. What do you think? Sorry, my wife's yelling at my son. If y'all heard that.
No, I believe he'll play on. I believe he'll play on the tag too.
Yeah, because he's going to bet on himself, because if he does good this year, a second year in a
$27
row,
million is a lot of money to not go get.
well, next year it's supposed to be 33 million or something like
27.
that. Yeah, 27 this year. Yep, or
Yeah,
28, something like that. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
you
And
know, it's a whole lot of money.
only one other player did that, and he regretted it. And he told him the other day, "Don't do that." That's basically $2 million a
Yeah,
game
because
almost.
like even though you definitely feel like you should be getting extended for one seat for a lot, that's still a whole lot of money to not get to considering you're gonna get that or nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's where they burn you.
I can't believe Bell
Because
did
and
that. But
then ain't nobody about to give you 2 first-round picks for George Pickens.
no, and pay him? No.
Like there's only like two other teams. There's only like one other team has that cap. And if
He
you want a
thinks
wide
he's as
receiver
good
that
as
bad,
Kirk
I would say
is. So
draft one first.
he
Like
thinks
the
he's
only,
as good as
I mean,
Puka.
huh?
He thinks he's as good as Smith, Benjigba, and Puka. He wants that $40 million money, man.
I mean, it ain't about being as good. It's just about if somebody's willing to get to you or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I mean, I don't think that JSN is the best receiver in football. Like I don't even think he's a. I really don't even think he's a top five. I think he was in a system that predicated him getting the ball a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I think he is a good receiver, but as in pure receiver, no, I don't believe he's one of the top five receivers in football. But it was definitely his time to get paid.
Yeah. Yep. Well, DeMarco Murray was so dope.
DeMarco Murray
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah, go watch the film for Notre Dame. I mean, just his stature of Jeremiah Love. He looks like DeMarco Murray, but a little bit faster. I don't know. That guy can get it, boy. He has some wheels. So, he's definitely going to be a good running back. And I think he's better than what the Raiders got last year with who did the Raiders get for running back? I'm just tired, y'all. I can't think right now.
I mean, Javonte Williams averaged 4.8 yards per carry. A running back who did not average the years before he came to Dallas. So one would like to think that all helped him out a lot. So I mean, you put a Jeremiah Love behind it, I can only imagine what he would do.
Oh yeah, he's better than Ashton Genty. That's who I was thinking. That's what they say. Like the scouting report is he's bigger, faster, stronger than Ashton Genty. So you never know, man.
Yeah, but I think
So
he's gonna play.
I just hope the Giants or Washington don't draft him because if they do, we're gonna be well. As good as our defensive line is, we're gonna need a Max Crosby to stop Jeremiah Love. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Giants they're kind of sold on the Scatterboo. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they would probably draft him.
Washington will. Dan Quinn will. And that's the one
Yeah,
reason
they
they
need
might
they.
trade up to get him, just to stop them from getting him. You know?
Nah, Jerry ain't in the chasing business no more. He don't care about that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Washington, I don't care. I don't think he's in the chasing business no more. But Washington, that would be a kind of sticky situation because they are Jay Daniels over there doing his thing. They do need a wide receiver though.
I mean, that's kind of the same thing for everything, though. Like, we don't want Washington or we don't want New York or the Eagles, the people in our own division, to get the good players. Not only do we want them, but we don't want them to get them either. You know, whether it be Max or Miles or that'd be crazy if we went and got Max or we went and got Max and Philly went and got Miles or we went and got Miles and Philly went and got Max. You know, and we got Javante, so now they want to go get Love. You know, so
Well, they
it's a
got
copycat league.
The Eagles got Saquon Barkley, so they don't need a
Do you think
Saquon Barkley gonna be
Saquon's
the.
still? I think Saquon Barkley's on a decline. Last year, he didn't do anything.
I mean, he
I mean,
might be, but he's still gonna be on that team He's still gonna be on that team this year, next year.
he had one or two good games at the end of the season. It was like the Eagles were just trying to coast through the season last year until they got to the playoffs. And then the 49ers just came in and kicked the crap out of them. But yeah, their
I'm just
offense,
praying that they lost too, so
and that's
we
the
probably
thing with
help.
them. If they lose, like Carter or any of their receivers, if they lose Brown, their offense is going to be even worse than it was last year. So hopefully their new offensive coordinator can. I mean, in their eyes, not for us. I hope they're worse, but I'm just saying, if I was the GM, hopefully this new offensive coordinator for the is better than last year for the Eagles.
Yeah, and the Giants are hoping that Abdul Carter is that he's actually the guy.
Yeah, he started coming in last season, but Ezaraku had better stats last year and was rated higher on PFF than Carter was.
I know, and Carter was like the fourth overall pick.
Yep, so we won on that. And with this new coaching, with BT Jordan coming in, the pass rush specialist, this defensive line is going to be a lot better just from the coaching. Coaching matters. So,
Yeah, it
and
matters
then,
until it don't.
yeah, and then we even got like three linebacker coaches. Most team only have one. We had three. And so,
We have more linebacker coaches than we have linebackers.
you ain't middle linebackers, that is. I think we only have three middle linebackers. Who knows? Dallas just might go in here at 12 and get C.J. Allen, and then number 20 go get Jacob Rodriguez. Have them both, and just say screw going and getting a linebacker. We'll just get 2 awesome rookie linebackers and move on down the road.
And if they are who they say they are and end up being who they are supposed to be, they neither one of them be on the team in 5 years because the Cowboys ain't gonna be able to run a resign.
Well, in 5 years, Dak Prescott will probably be retiring, and at that point, hopefully, we've won at least 1 Super Bowl.
And Paul, that's a really good point. That's how the Cowboys were Dak Prescott's rookie year. Our defense was so good because they weren't on the field because Zeke was running that ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A good offense helps the defense where they're on the, even last year. Um, I think the reason why Dallas was conservative on a lot of their play calling is because they didn't want to score fast. Because why? We're going to give the ball back to the other team, and our defense can't stop a cold. So, a lot of times we were trying to like run the ball a lot when we wanted to pass, or vice versa, you know, but we had to be more methodical instead of just scoring a lot. That's how bad our defense was. Worst defense in Cowboys history. So,
Yeah, we've had that. We've actually had that twice in the last 5 years, which is crazy.
yep. We're definitely going to be top 15 next year, I'm for sure. And then if we bring in someone like Myles Garrett, we'll go to a top 10 defense, in my opinion, if we go get a good middle linebacker. Middle linebacker is really going to be what solidifies this whole entire operation. So,
I mean,
uh,
going from 32 to 15, would be historic. If we can just go to like 25 with our offense, I think we might be all right.
yeah, even going to 25, we'll go to the playoffs and be like a wild card. But
Yeah.
if we go to like 15 or 10, shoot, who knows? We could go all the way. So, all right, folks. Well, that's all the time I have for tonight. Thank you, West Coast, for joining me. As always, we love you, man. Hopefully, we'll see you out in Oxnard this year, and maybe we'll do another one next week or something, or maybe this
That
weekend if
sounds good,
something
my
pops
guy.
off. Unless something pops off between now and then. But I wouldn't mind hearing Dallas Cowboys have signed Jordan Brooks, linebacker, for a 3rd-round pick. That'd be great. Right about now.
Heck
So,
yeah, that would solidify everything. Then you could actually trade them picks for Myles Garrett, do whatever you want.
and then who knows? We might not even need a Myles Garrett or anything.
I
I
don't think
mean,
anybody needs them except for the team that he's
Seahawks
on.
did it with D-Law. Rashard Gary's like a D-Law. So,
Yeah, but they had more than D Law. They had a bunch. They had a whole combination of guys that was getting to the quarterback.
and we got Quentin and Kenny with BT Jordan coaching them up. So,
Yeah, but man, I only put so much faith in coaches, man.
we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be interesting, but I'm excited. I know that.
Yeah, well, hey man, you already know what it is, man. Never look down because